Hello. When we open up chapter 27 of Sefer Bamidbar, we hear of the famous story of Bנות Tzlafchad. Let us revisit the story and try to understand various ideas that may be extrapolated from the text itself. Firstly, we hear about the story within the context of the stories that ensue after the sin of Baal Peor. We hear about the breakdown of families in the story of Baal Peor, and therefore before Am Yisrael begin to fight against the Midyanim, we hear of a family story. We hear about a story of a family that wants to retain its identity. But let's look at the first pasuk. Vatikravna b'not Tzlafchad. The daughters of Tzlafchad come. Who are these daughters? They are the daughters of Tzlafchad ben Chefer, ben Gilad, ben Machir, ben Menashe, lemishpachot Menashe ben Yosef. 5 generations of a patriarchal society, 5 times that the word ben is mentioned. But the Torah already presents to us that ultimately each one of these women is going to be significant. The story is not about the banim. It's not about the sons. It's about Machla, Noah, Chogla, Milka, and Tirza. 5 daughters who to a certain degree complement the 5 times that the term ben is used. And what is their argument before Moshe? They respectfully approach Moshe, Vatikravna. They first approach Moshe and then Vata'amona, not just before Moshe, but before the religious representative Elazar HaKohen, and before the political Nisiim, and in front of all those standing by Ohel Moed. And what seems at first to be what we would call today a rather feminist argument, if we look properly at the psukim, we note exactly what they're asking. They say, our father died in the desert, and he wasn't part of Adat Korach. Not to worry, he was not trying to challenge authority, political or religious, as those involved with Korach were. But rather, he died in his own sin, and he didn't have sons. Lama ייגרע shem avinu mitoch mishpachto. What they argue before Moshe is why should, they don't say why should we lose out. They don't even say why should our father lose out. Rather they say Lama ייגרע shem avinu mitoch mishpachto. Why should our father's name be lost out from his family? We want to retain the family name. We want to retain the legacy of our father that's established through a nachala, through having a part and a portion in Eretz Yisrael. And Moshe Rabbeinu already knows that he has to take this argument very seriously because he's heard these words before, and he heard them in the most sincere manner as well at the beginning of Sefer Bamidbar, when Am Yisrael were still in the midst of developing themselves as a holy nation in a Perek Yud of Sefer Bamidbar on the 1st of the month of Nisan of the beginning of the 2nd year of Am Yisrael coming out of Mitzrayim. Chapter 9 of Sefer Bamidbar, Perek Tet. Hashem commands that the people perform Carbon Pesach to remember the events of the previous year. And in that context, we find out about people who cannot bring the Carbon Pesach because they are defiled. And they come before Moshe and they use the term Lama ייגרע. Why should we lose out? And what are they so upset about losing out on? Not a good barbecue. But rather, they turn to Moshe, Lama ייגרע levilti להקריב את קרבן Hashem במועדו בתוך בני Yisrael. They don't want to lose out on being part of mitzvah observance within Am Yisrael. That's why when we revisit that story, as we approach the story of Bנות Tzlafchad, we understand that those words resonate quite positively in Moshe Rabbeinu's ears when he hears them say, Lama ייגרע shem avinu. He understands that they also don't want to miss out. They don't want to miss out on having their father's name perpetuated through the land of Israel. What greater ideal can there be than that? Kein Bנות Tzlafchad dovrot.